Remember the good old days when life was simpler, technology didn't constantly interrupt our lives, and turning on the TV meant watching quality shows? I miss those times too, and often wish we could bring back some of that simplicity. In today's hectic world, it's easy to wonder how we ended up here. So let me take you on a nostalgic journey with 10 things only boomers will remember. Today, if you ask a kid about their favorite toy, they'll probably mention something complicated or tied to their favorite TV show or movie character. But back in the good old days, we could have hours of fun with something as simple as a slightly oversized plastic loop. The hula hoop. The hula hoop. The hula hoop emerged in the 1950s, and despite its simplicity, it provided endless entertainment. Why? Because we found creative ways to make it fun. While the main trick was twirling it around your waist, you could also spin it around your arms, legs, shoulders, hands, knees, and more. You could even play with friends, shooting a ball through the hoop as you moved around with it. This toy sparked imagination and creativity in a way that's rare today. Nowadays, most kids would probably get bored with it in seconds. The Ed Sullivan Show. Television isn't what it used to be, and that's both good and bad. On the positive side, we now have more options than ever, especially with the rise of streaming services. However, despite the abundance of channels and platforms, it sometimes feels like there's still nothing worth watching. Contrast this with the days when shows like The Ed Sullivan Show were the thing to watch every Sunday night. The Ed Sullivan Show was an iconic variety show that featured everything from comedy acts to musical guests and more. Ed Sullivan was someone viewers could connect with, and his show was tied to some of the most memorable moments in U.S. history, including the introduction of the Beatles to American audiences. While there were many great late-night shows that followed, like Johnny Carson, David Letterman, and Jay Leno, Ed Sullivan's show remains truly iconic. The moon landing. In today's world, global events often bring bad news. Think of the pandemic, wars, or political scandals. But in the late 1960s, one monumental event captured the world's imagination: the moon landing. In 1969, NASA's Apollo 11 mission sent 3 men into space with the goal of landing a man on the moon for the first time. When Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin accomplished this, it proved that humanity could achieve the seemingly impossible. If you weren't there, it's hard to grasp the awe and wonder that swept across the globe as people realized we had truly left Earth's orbit and landed on another celestial body. It was a moment of collective amazement that we rarely experience today. In fact, the achievement was so astounding that some people today still believe it was faked. But trust me, it wasn't. I Love Lucy. Sorry, got a bit nostalgic there. When it comes to all-time great sitcoms, I Love Lucy is easily one of the best, if not the best, in many people's eyes. Today, many sitcoms try to push boundaries with edgy content, even when they're supposed to be family shows. But with I Love Lucy, it was all about the characters and comedy. And that's what makes the show iconic even today. It was also a trendsetter in many ways. How sitcoms were filmed, the concept of an ensemble cast, and how certain characters were portrayed. At its peak, the show was watched by 40 million people a year. Nowadays, only major sports events or the Olympics get that kind of viewership. If you've never seen the show, there are still channels that play it, and it's worth checking out. It's truly great. Using the phone book. Okay, I know some might argue that not using the phone book is a good thing today, but for a long time, this was the way to connect with the world. Boomers remember a time before cell phones and computers, when connecting with others required effort. If you don't know someone's number, you had to look it up in the phone book. The good thing was, the phone book had a wealth of information, and if the number was listed, you could always find what you were looking for. Even if you didn't know exactly what you needed, flipping through the yellow pages could help you out. It's different in today's world, and some might say it's worse because we've lost that all-in-one resource. Shag carpets. That's right, it's time to get groovy, baby, yeah! Shag carpets were a big deal, and while you could still find them today, younger generations might not appreciate the appeal. Made from various materials and available in all sorts of shapes, sizes, colors, and thicknesses, shag carpets could make any room stand out. Plus, they were warm and cozy to step on, making them perfect for wooden floors. Fondue parties. These days, hosting a party often requires meticulous planning to ensure everything is perfect and everyone is pleased. It can be really stressful, but back in the day, fondue parties were the ultimate laid-back way to dine and enjoy good company. The idea was simple: a big pot of hot cheese, and you'd dip bread or vegetables into it for a tasty, informal meal. You'd sit around, chat, and enjoy as much fondue as you wanted. It was informal, fun, and something you should definitely try today. Roller rinks. Here's another thing that sadly faded due to technological advances. Roller rinks. These were once one of the all-time great hangout spots, perfect for spending time with friends or going on a fun, affordable date. It's ironic, really, because all a roller rink is a place where you skate around in a giant oval. Nothing complicated, yet people flocked to them. As arcade games became more popular, rinks often included them, adding to the fun. Today, kids mostly skate outside, if they skate at all, and the party atmosphere of roller rinks is something many people miss. Banana seat bicycles. You might think bicycles haven't evolved much over the years, but the banana seat bike style was a game changer in the 1960s. This design became a staple for multiple bike companies because of what it allowed riders to do. For instance, the larger seat enabled a chopper style, which encouraged tricks like wheelies. The expanded seat also meant two people could ride on the bike comfortably. For a while, this was the best-selling bike across multiple brands. Fast forward to today, banana seat bikes have become collector's items that can fetch big money on eBay. The payphone. And finally, let's talk about another relic from the past, the payphone. Back in the day, if you wanted to make a call, you had two options: use your home phone or find a payphone. These phones cost a small fee, but they allowed you to make calls from anywhere, within reason. This was a prominent means of communication until cell phones started to phase them out. Today, it's a miracle if you spot one in the wild. Thanks for joining me on this nostalgic journey through things only a boomer will remember. I hope it brought back some great memories and reminded you of simpler times. If you enjoyed the trip down memory lane, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more blasts from the past. Until next time, keep the memories alive and stay retro.